Welcome to MPA Feedback Stream 38. I am the guild leader. Today with us we have Blayhub and Radium.
Hello. Hi.
This is the live stream we do every Friday in the MPA community where members submit their music, listen to it live here on stream, and we give our feedback to help members gain a new perspective on their music. And like I always say, encourage the members in the chat to please give feedback to the people that submitted to these and come and stick around for 2 hours, like all y'all here probably, let's get as much feedback to the person as possible, not just from the judges. So, all right, if you want to get your track submitted into one of these, just look for always the featured post in the Amino community and in the announcement section on the Discord. There's a submission form for the track. You just submit there and come back on Friday. This is and then get your feedback. All right, another announcement is next month is I was gonna do this month, but some stuff got pushed back. Producer Battle 10 is gonna happen next month, and so we've done this the 10th one. You know, sometimes we take long breaks in between. Those are some of the battles we did at the very beginning when I first started doing competitions and challenges of the producer battles. They're simple. It's just everyone submits a track, and we just really judge it on quality of the number of qualities. We'll rate it and then we'll get like an overall score, and we'll just narrow it down with eliminate, just like knockout rounds. So, and then we'll have pick some winners and stuff like that. And this is really just for, again, it's for more promotion, more feedback, more perspectives on your music, and just kind of like different people talking about your music. It's just a way to get your music out there. You know, we don't have big prizes or big rewards. So it's not like enter, so you're gonna win all this stuff. It's not for that. I just want everyone to know this just gives you something to do. You know, you submit your music, see what happens, and you learn a lot from doing this kind of stuff. And you meet a lot of people, and people remember you. So everyone I remember in the community is because they entered one of my competitions or one of our competitions or something like that, or asked for feedback one day. And so it's just a great way for get people to know who you are, to get involved with the community, to share your music. So Producer Battle 10, look out for that. It's gonna June 1st, on the first Monday of the week. I mean, first Monday of the month. I'm gonna post Producer Battle 10. There's gonna be a twist on it though. That's why I pushed it back a month. I want to somehow category. I got it kind of figured out, but you'll wait till the details. Genre it off, so it's not just like everyone always says the same thing after these producer battles, and it's oh well, I wish it was, you know, my genre wasn't really represented, or you know, it was all EDM, or it was all this or that. So there's going to be a little thing where you can say what genre you are first and get paired up in somewhat of a group. You might be with some genre that's not exactly yours, but you'll see how it works. Everyone to see how it works. So Producer Battle 10 with a little twist. And the submissions this time will be through the Discord. It will be posted on Amino, but I want everyone to know that the submissions this time will be through our Discord. So if you're not already a member of our Discord, please come join our Discord. That's the last announcement, is the Discord. Please come join our Discord. We're growing it. 197 members. Pretty much ran out of everyone to ask. I just was sending invites out to people that, you know, I've talked to before, or for some reason we were following for one point or another on SoundCloud because they submitted to a competition or something. I was sending out invites. Pretty much sent out most of the invites I could of people I know. So, and we got up to 197, but a few more people will probably come in. So we get 200 members on our Discord. That's really good. I'm proud of us for growing that, and we're gonna keep focus over there. So if you're not already on there, please join our Discord. Look for the link on top of our YouTube channel or any of our channels for that matter. You know what? Let's get right into this because I think we got a lot of submissions today. Pass it over to Blayhub.
We do have a lot of submissions. We have 8 submissions, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to go through all of them, but I think we'll try. We'll try to keep a more open discussion going, but keep it going for shorter. So maybe we can like rush through these and, you know, talk a bit about each submission, but not go too much into details. And also not try to get on rants again. Also, I want to apologize for the dark blue color of the chat names today. That's something I don't have control over, since YouTube is controlling that, and it's really stupid and annoying. So today we'll have poor contrast on the chat names. It's a bit unnecessary, probably, but I sort of felt the need to apologize because it does look really horrible. Anyway, our first submission for today is going to be Bit of an Adventure by Infinite Phoenix. Have fun! Alright, so that was Bit of an Adventure by Infinite Phoenix. Infinite Phoenix did not leave us a message, so we have no idea what this is. All we know is that they have a long-ass YouTube channel link. So if you want to watch their videos, go to UC1GC86S6Z6LA, whatever. Just making fun, because I want short links, and this is not a short link. Okay, so let's start the open discussion about this
Um,
adventure, I guess.
a bit of an adventure.
A
Infinite,
bit of an,
thanks.
yeah, it's a bit of an adventure.
Good to see you submitting again. I always, like I say about many of our members we have, I love to watch the journey of our members, and I'm pretty familiar with most of your stuff that you've submitted to the community and to past competitions and stuff. And I would say that, yeah, I could see where you're going. I could see your journey. I could see your improvements. But there's just a lot of things I think about this that are just not it for the genre. Um, it's just not doing it because it's just not filling up the. It's not your sounds are not filling up the right frequency, like the right frequencies, and they're not. It's just not a full mix in this genre the kind of mixes that are usually done in this kind of genre.
What genre would you
So,
say it is?
well, this is definitely some style of electronic dance music for sure.
I mean, okay, yeah,
And
that's
right,
right.
but I'm saying so in electronic music, like I always say, it's so much about uh, after you. We'll talk about this too, but after you do, after you do write a good melody and a good song, the sound design, you want to do it right. You don't want to just do cheesy sounds. You want to pick up really good sounds. Okay, and then so a lot of people they finally figure out how to make a growl synth. Or they finally figure out how to make a certain sound and stuff, and they kind of start figuring out how to make a little bit of more of a complex show style arrangement or something. Uh, but what they don't quite got figured out is the mixing and the how to use those sounds. Not just the mixing; it's how to use the sounds and place them in the mix. Um, I think so. I'd say my first point, Relay and Radium, since we're trying to do more of an open discussion today. um,
Yeah.
my first point would be that yeah, there wasn't to start off with, there really wasn't a great, like it was too repetitive. Like the melody itself, it wasn't really a great song written before you went to the sound design part. But Infinite, once it got to uh, the sound design and the mixing and everything, it also wasn't, you know, done right. So what we have here is what
It's a
could
bit
have been saved with
awkward.
a great. Yeah, it could have been saved with a great mix, kind of, but then we would have just talked about, oh, it's too repetitive. You should have done
I
more
mean,
melody and everything. But
honestly,
the problem is,
this is just a mix of problems in every aspect of
Mhm.
music making. It's start. I mean, okay, you start with like one basic idea for like a melody. It's a snippet of a melody. The thing is, I don't consider many of these things that we hear on these feedback streams to be full melodies. They're ideas, they're motives, but they're not really melodies. So
right,
so I think the melody is it starts with an okay idea, but it doesn't really continue. So it just da 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 something like
over
that.
and over.
It's just over and
Yeah,
over. It's not it's not at that point it becomes a
you could have
pattern.
played with that a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah, you could have
it's
moved
just
one
like
note up
an
to the scales, all through the scale, and it could have become,
yeah
you know what I mean, like that same rhythm.
yeah
You could have just kept evolving one of the
yeah.
notes
I mean,
throughout the scales.
honestly, when it started, I was a bit surprised. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the string sound itself. I think they sound rather cheap, but I mean, we're not talking about that today. Um, I but it was interest. It was more interesting than the typical EDM thing. It had a bit more interest to me. And it started with pretty nice harmony, and it was fitting. And it kept going, and I was like, maybe we can go somewhere else. And then came the electronic parts, and it's like, okay, now it's just the same. And you sort of try to get more variety by adding some effects and stuff, but really they weren't so effective because you didn't really utilize them in a way that would. I mean, Guild mentioned Complextro, and I really wouldn't consider it that, from what I know at least. I'm not an electronic expert,
No, you're right. You're right. Well,
but I wouldn't like it. It's like for Complextro, I think Guild is probably right. It's maybe the sort of direction you try to go to with this, but really it wasn't achieved to any extent of that, simply for the fact that you didn't actually have lots of different elements like that. Because if you listen to things like what Retrograde does, for example, so when he makes these complex things, which is where I know this from, when I'm connecting this with the term, it's not just a bunch of random sounds. It's very uh it's very no, even if the selection process is subconscious, and maybe I don't know, maybe if you asked Retro, he'd say, "Oh, I don't really know why I picked it." Maybe he would, I don't know. But to me, it seems very carefully selected sounds in
Right.
terms both frequency and stuff like that, but also the not in the sense of frequency as a music production term and frequency in the term of a pitch. So it has a very melodic aspect, these elements, as
All the
well as
different
the
things
sound
make up the-
quality. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all the different things could be played by one instrument and be a great thing, but then he picks the right instruments to kind of like incomplete. So yeah, I would say that is kind of what I was getting on here with Phoenix's song. It's like the you had some sounds that are used in those kind of musics, but they were just too distant, too thin, and they just weren't filling up the mix like they're supposed to. And then also pushed to that level of like, oh, that's a really rich sound, and that's a really you vibratoed the very end of the note, or you tailed off the little reverb or something. All those little extra details when it comes to effects that these genres are known for and these sounds are good for. The sounds were there, but they were not used right. They were real quiet and like wah, 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 wah. They just kind of weren't filled out. So I would say you're going in the direction I can see, but there's a lot you need to do with the mixing. But I would start with the songwriting.
Yeah,
like,
I
Leo,
believe
you need to
I
start.
believe we're listening to what is at its core a pretty rough and basic idea that then tries to add some of these more nuanced things, which then you can't explore to the full extent because there is no nuance to get to if you have this very rough basic idea.
Start with just the piano and write a really great song. What did you think, Radium?
Yeah, Radium. What's up? You would join in?
She's
Yeah.
sipping her tea, so I saw her. Figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying the
I'm
more
gonna be
open
this-
thing today.
I'm gonna be the
You're a little quiet today, Radium.
person.
Yeah, sorry, Radium. Really quiet. Maybe you could increase the. I got you on 200%, so.
Is it better?
Slightly.
A little. Go ahead, though.
Microphone disrespecting me.
Yeah.
It is kind of.
Evil
I don't know.
microphone. It may be a Discord
I'll just turn you up on my
setting.
end so I can hear you. Okay.
It may be a Discord setting. I don't have the fortune of just turning up my headphones because that wouldn't do difference for the stream.
Is it better now?
I will just go with it for now.
Okay, I'm gonna move super close to the bitch.
That's better.
Hi. I'm going to be the simple-minded person of the stream today, and I'm gonna say that I like this track. I like the vibe. I like the melody. Wait. Okay. And yeah, I liked it. You know what? I'm gonna be the simple-minded person today.
Oh dear,
so
what happened
it's-
to the real Radium?
She's dead.
No!
Oh, you never know what to expect with Radium. That's good though. I mean, it's this thing about music, and you never know how someone's listening. They could be listening in the background. They could be listening very critically, or they could just be dancing to it. And sometimes it might not go over with like one person judging it in a certain way, but another person might just feel it. So art is very subjective.
Or it's the attempt of not judging others so hard, so one might not be judged too hard themselves later.
I would say though, just so we could go, we got 8 submissions. We're gonna pass it on. I'd say thanks for submitting Infinite. I would say just definitely watch some videos. Like I'm sure you've already done this on sound design stuff, but watch when they're
some
making the
videos.
song. Yeah, watch some videos on sound design. But what I'm saying is, when you're watching them, pay attention to how that sound in electronic music. It's definitely in modern electronic music. Everything takes turns. There's not a bunch of stuff playing on top of each other, and that's what I meant by the whole complexo direction. And it's not just in complexo. A lot of genres started doing this, electro, even dubstep and stuff like that, where the sound that's happening is the loud. It's like takes up. It's the bass, it's the mids, it's the highs, it's everything. And the only is you got the kick drum for the lows, you got the snare drum for the mids, you got the high, and the cymbals for the highs. That's your drum set. Then you got your bass sound, which is very full in this music if it's bass music. And when a certain hit happens, like wow, everything gets out of its way. And then another sound comes in after that, and but it has to be the right sound, and it has to continue the sound that just happened. They feel like they have to be talking and playing together, but it fills up the whole mix. So when it's really thin and you're not filling up the mix, you're not actually doing mixing it like most electronics mix, and so you kind of it's not just with volume. You want to just make sure, just focus a little bit more on how these things are mixed, and just start analyzing. I mean, analyze some other mixes, analyze some construction kits, even like get a remix pack and look at like get a famous track from Dead Mouse's remix pack. Is the last one I did, and it was really cool. I looked at all his hi hat, I looked at everything he had on the split tracks, and I just put it all together. Like, it sounds just like the song, and you just split it all up into separate tracks. You can analyze the dB of the kick drum, the snare drum, the hi hats. You just analyze it. You don't have to copy it, but you can analyze it, and it just opens your mind to like, oh, okay, I'm always putting my hi hats way over here, but it's like you just keep them right here. Simple things like that will help you a lot, and I think just getting a more modern mix, but still you be an artist and be creative. You don't always copy, just unless y'all have anything else to say, should we move on to the
Yeah, I
next
think we should move on.
right.
So we can get to all of those submissions. Okay, our second submission for today is going to be Gladiator by Kitsune Power. Have fun.
Baby.
All right, so that was Gladiator by Kitsune Power. Oh, and I forgot to copy the message. Kitsune did leave us a message, which goes as follows. Well, here it is. Blay threw down the gauntlet and I answered the call. And oh my god!
What I was saying.
Now I fucking oh, there was a challenge.
Oh, you forgot.
That's what I was saying, dude. I think I'm quite impressed with it.
Wow! Oh my god.
So KP wins by default.
I mean, what's this
honestly-
about winning? I forgot. Oh my god. I completely
go ahead.
forgot. Shit. What was we even supposed to do? Wait, was it making things in
okay.
3/4 time?
Well, I mean, it was
Was I
last week. We
supposed
got
to-
a discussion. Oh, your part? Your part of the challenge. I don't remember.
Fuck, doing shit on a phone doll. Damn it. Okay.
That was someone else. That was because of Pure
I'm
Lemon, though, or
fucking
something, right?
stupid.
Or someone else.
I completely forgot. I completely
Hey,
forgot.
though,
Okay,
I would just-
okay,
I'm
so
a-
this was KP's 3/4 time track attempt.
Because last week we got in a discussion about how all electronic music's in 4/4 time.
Yeah, I remember.
Experiments as they go on. Like
Fuck.
sometimes they'll do triplets or something, but that's not the. And we're like, why don't people go out of that time signature and do
Shit,
like
yeah.
3/4
Oh,
time?
I even
I was
downloaded
saying-
one of the things, but I didn't even try it. Shit. Okay,
mobile
sorry
doll,
about
yeah, he
that.
was saying.
This week has been fucking awful. Anyway.
Well, let's extend. We'll just extend the
Fuck.
challenge. Let's. That's fine. Let's just talk about this track though. So, Kip's
Yeah.
part of the challenge is So I was even saying last week like 3/4 time. I just can't picture it in my head because I wasn't like just really picturing it. And I was like, but in an EDM track, a DJ would drop it. And I was like, yeah, I definitely could drop it anywhere if you want to be creative. I just couldn't picture it vibing. So I was sitting here just now listening to this.
Well.
I think it worked really well. I was like,
I think it's more interesting.
okay.
Here we go. It's more
I
interesting.
know. I was totally into it. I was just like, wait a minute. This sounds like a normal song, but I'm like, let me count it. I was counting. I was like, Blay, is it 3/4? I was like, yeah, it is. But I'm just feeling it. I was kind of like waltzing in my head. We're like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I was like, this is working, and it's working pretty good. So I like that. I like how it worked. Now I would say you can really experiment with this now,
Yeah.
KP.
I
You did a
think
decent
this is,
job.
I
but
think it's
very
more
basic.
interesting just by nature because it's a different approach that KP had to take. So I think a lot of the things that KP is used to doing just went out of the window. So there's just a completely different approach it had to take. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Really interesting, and totally works. But I mean, that's not a surprise to me. I'm just that's
Right. You knew it would work.
You
You
see
said-
it works.
I mean-
why shouldn't it work? Let's be
Well, I
fucking
mean, I
honest.
knew it would work, but I was wondering like if it would feel like it would fit immediately into like I feel like
Yeah.
if that came up on one of my Spotify playlists, weekly radar, what
I mean,
playlist
sure,
or something.
It's been done.
I would
countless
just-
times
yeah.
before, but
Yeah, I just not counting close enough
Yeah.
all the time. But
I just wish more people would do it more regularly, just working
Yeah.
with different time signatures and stuff like that, and even more experimental. It's not even just more interesting keys and stuff like that. Not always the same, the same chords and stuff. Always the same ideas. Just switching things up can make such a huge difference. Just how you approach it creatively. So I think that was a really nice experiment, and maybe
Yeah, it
something
makes me
to
wanna go
learn
try.
for KP as well, and others. To just sometimes,
I learned.
really actually try new things. One thing I have to mention this. I did for Infinite Phoenix, so I can't let this slide here. I criticized Infinite Phoenix's string sound. I mean, I don't expect any of you to invest in a recording with a soloist or something, or invest in sample libraries and stuff because they can get quite expensive. But the clarinet sound was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I would agree. You could have done something. You didn't need the clarinet sound. I would have kept it straight electronic.
I think it's cool that he included it though. I think it's nice. I think electronic music. The next thing that electronic needs more of is more traditional instruments. But not to the point of it being fucking annoying because it can get super cliched super easily. I think the clarinet sound fit nice. It just was a horrible sounding instrument. Like the sample was just garbage. But I mean, I don't expect you to buy a $300 clarinet plugin. So that's just just mentioning it, it's like, you may actually get it cheaper if you let someone on Fiverr play the clarinet part for you or something. You could do that. Or find a better yet, find a musician, find a musician friend, or like
Find a real clarinet
someone
or
to
something.
play it. I mean, it's such a simple part. I could probably play it, even though I'm like not a professional clarinetist. I could probably play it as a simple part.
That was one of my first instruments. Radium, I guess. Radium, I think she's busy. She said, but she texted her message here. Tell KP I liked this track though. I wasn't the biggest fan of the clarinet / strings, but
Yeah.
I get the pain of having just these to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for
you could
that
have replaced
stuff,
it with something more professional
yeah.
if you didn't have.
Yeah, for that stuff, I'd really get in touch with people who know what they're doing in that respect.
I mean, in electronic,
even just knowing how the instruments work, because working with this stuff, you sometimes don't know the possibilities, like the stuff you can do on these instruments and stuff, and it helps sometimes getting in touch with maybe a classical composer, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
you
helping.
can still work in
I'm
the
helping a person currently with something. I think I'm not supposed to mention it, so I'm not going to mention it. But I've made an orchestral arrangement for an electronic track. I'm not mentioning for who it is or what it is, but it's something I do, and it's just something where, I just have more ideas to work with, because I just know how these instruments work much better than you would if you don't ever deal with them, But yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I would.
I liked it. I think it was a nice experiment. I think it was a successful experiment.
Yeah, good job.
I think
Good
it's
job.
the most. Honestly, I think it's the most interesting thing you ever did. Just honestly, most interesting thing you ever did.
That's totally fair for your taste in music and stuff like that. I would say honestly, I want to hear more of this. I think you should take this into like a little EP thing, go with it, run with it, and not just you, other artists. I think it's a great way to make something a little unique when so many people are trying to find a new sound of ADM. I mean, it's just a thing. It's not just like we know it. Everyone talks about it, that after the lockdown, the virus, and all that stuff like that, it changed the festival's sound and big time, because you're not going to make tracks to play in front of thousands of people that are just meant to be big bangers in front of those things, because everyone's at home. So you're going to make music that's different, more thoughtful, more chilled, and more of a listening experience. And because of that, it's going to have, even after everything opens back up, music's just, in electronic music and other genres, I'm sure too, but in electronic music, it's changed forevermore. So the future of electronic is in our hands, and I think this is a good direction. Let's go on.
Yeah, let's keep on moving, because I think we're not gonna, if we're taking so long, I don't even know what's going on.
I know. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think the open discussion is flowing better, but
it's
Let's time it. Like we did 3 minutes.
Yeah, let's be a bit careful with our timing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just one thing. I'm gonna try to do my mobile DAW challenge this week if I can find the time. Last week has been busy. It still is busy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'll definitely try though. I did not even touch the app. I completely forgot about it entirely. Even when I prepared the stream, I did not think about anything. It just when I started reading the message, then I remembered. Oh my god. Anyway. Okay, our next submission for today is going to be I'll Surrender by STUGATS. I probably pronounced that wrong. Have fun. All right.
Oh, the
So
best
that
part.
was I'll Surrender by STUGATS. Okay, so we had to fade it out because it is 7 minutes long, and we can only play things. Um, we can only play things in full if they're 5 minutes or shorter, because then it will take up too much time. Um, I normally I prepare this to be a bit less harsh, but this time I had to do it manually. So excuse that, please. Anyway, STUGATS did leave us a very short message, which goes as follows: It's techno. It's supposed to be repetitive. Okay. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
that's
we were
true.
talking while we were
But
listening, and I think it's
mhm.
interesting because I'm usually the person to complain about repetitiveness, and I mean, of course, it is repeating. Um, okay, right up front, it is basic, it is simple. Here's the thing: it works. It works in this setting. It works for this genre. Here's someone who makes something really simple, so but understands this genre. I feel this person really understands this genre. It works. It just works. It's
Mhm.
simple, it's basic. I wouldn't buy the CD and listen to it when I'm trying to
There's
relax
things
or
that can still
anything.
be critiqued for
Yeah,
sure, but it
I told Guild I used to work at an underground music thing. I was the visual director for it's like an audiovisual shared experimental thing. It was like underground scene. They played music that I don't really care for, but being in the moment, it really worked, and I really liked it. It was enjoyable. It's not the musical genius thing I go to seek out when I go to listen to my new favorite piece or something like that, but it's completely enjoyable. And I got this feel with this. It's not
it was
something where
done
I'd
right. Yeah.
say, yeah, this is like listening, like going to whatever and listening to the fine arts of whatever. But this is pure, and this is true to its nature. I feel. I mean, maybe
Yeah, it was
I may be
mentioned in
wrong,
the.
but I get the
No, I
sense
think
from
you're right.
that. Yeah, it reminded me of that. So
It was even mentioned in the chat, like Arcestic even said 2002 vibes because this is
yeah,
and I said acid has vibes.
it's
I
just
mean, I was
true to
saying
its
because
nature. It's just true to its nature. It's
it
authentic in a way.
has, yeah, and because of that, this track it's actually probably very similar to many other tracks in the genre because it's just
Totally,
such a basic
totally.
track.
Yeah.
But when you're just enjoying music, and especially when you haven't heard this stuff for a while, it's fresh to hear again. But what this is do,
It's not trying to be more either.
yeah, what music does and ways why it works, even though it's repetitive, because back then when techno did come out, that's what it was. It was very repetitive music and it was on a loop and it's supposed to get all tranced out. But the things that is happening right here, first of all, the sound it's mixed appropriately, like a dark mix,
Yeah.
but everything is evolving. There's stuff constantly coming
Yes.
in and coming out,
Yeah, there
and
is
filters are
change.
constantly
Yeah.
opening and closing. And our ears love it. It's like ear candy. That's what I mean by using the sounds right. When I was talking about Infinite Phoenix's track, not using the sounds right, the ears weren't picking up the way those sounds are meant to be heard. When you use the sound right, it tickles your ears. I say tickle. It tickles my ears in a certain way. It scratches them. The acid sound, definitely an acid bass. You got that distorted thing talking to you the whole time. It's very pleasing to listen to. So you're enjoying just the sound, but it has to be done right. If you take the same thing and you do it wrong, you're gonna be like, okay, what's happening here? But this was done right. I would agree. That's like in the comment, it's techno. It's supposed to be repetitive. I've always said if it's gonna be a repetitive track, you can't. It's got to distract you from that in a sense. You got to not. You got to be like, oh, I love this track. I love this track. Without ever thinking about,
Yeah.
oh, it's just too repetitive. If
Yeah.
you ever say it's too repetitive, then it's not done right. But if you can just enjoy it without thinking about that,
Uh,
I agree that you could have done a really neat little vocal chants because KP was talking about Prodigy. You could have brought this epic choir in like at the
you
very
could
end of it or something.
Yeah, you could do more with it. It is more like
Right.
a very like minimalistic thing with there is like flowing but this is something where I totally say, yeah, I can totally understand the intent and purpose for this. Totally 100% understand if you put this like on a CD for a DJ in one of these club settings. 100% understand the use case. It's not trying to be more. It's not trying to be less. That's just works for this exact setting. You could do more with it, of course, but this just works. This just works, and it's the kind of thing that you could actually then let the DJ do mixing and stuff like that. Because
Right.
there's an
They would
artistry
be mixing
to
in other
DJing.
stuff. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You could do a lot with that, and I think this being so non-intrusive in that sense, having it has this perfect mix of simplicity mixed with this slow progressive change, uh, that it works within this setting. So it really does work. It's a really good job. I wonder one thing though. Maybe we can talk about this. I wonder if there is. So I'm not entirely sure when you're mixing for a club setting. This sounds very bassy, and there seems to be a light reverb or some sort of delay on this. I'm wondering how this would perform in a bigger club, in like a club setting. This might be something where you'd have to go a bit easy on the bass, and on certain insert effects and stuff like that. But I'm not sure though, so take that with a grain of salt. I just when listening to it, I felt like it sounded like when it would be played in the club, but then you already get the effect of the room and the the big speakers and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if maybe you'd have to adjust for the actual club setting a little bit, maybe have it a bit more drier, but I'm not sure.
You're right. You're right. That's a big thing. People don't realize that like they make their mix very wet to make it sound like it's in a club already, but when you play it in the club,
Yeah.
it's too muddy. The people with the cleanest mixes in the clubs, they have very dry. And that's why producers will sometimes make a separate edit for the club, which
Yeah,
is lack
that's
of
what I'm
reverb.
wondering.
And that's a
If
true thing.
this
It's a
is
true thing.
the personal playback kind of thing that gets the club feel across, but then you have a separate release for actually being played in the club where this
No, I'm glad
feel
you
that
brought
you
that
try
up.
to emulate then appears naturally.
That's just a good tip to give everybody. That's something that I discovered once. It's actually a thing, and so if you ever, that's just something just to think about. That's why sometimes there's radio edits and club mixes and stuff. You see that at the end of people's tracks, and you'll see the same song like 6 times on someone's Spotify, but they're all like different edits. That's the reason why, and it's because sometimes they want the kick drum to hit harder in the club, but not on the radio. So
Yeah.
they'll even have it.
Yeah.
They'll have it tweaked ever so slightly. So that's something to
There's
think
been a lot
about
of
if you're a club
yeah,
producer.
yeah. There's been a lot of praise though. I want to know. I want to know if Radium feels the same, or if we've missed something, because Radium is kind of quiet and it's hard to join in this kind of conversation when it's going. So, I'd be interested to hear Radium's opinion as well. Radium, maybe Radium went away and thought we
Rad
wouldn't
is not
notice,
with us at this
but
moment.
we totally noticed.
We talked about the open discussion before we started, and I think she was more in favor of the taking turns. So maybe we do an open discussion, and then we pass it over to Radium for the final word.
Yeah.
How about that?
I think we should just quickly mention how the feedback stream works, because there's been a question by someone by Felix. So how the feedback stream works is we collect people's submissions over the course of the week, and then each Friday we close the submission forms and we play the tracks we got over the week that day on Friday. So right now there isn't a new form, but we'll update a new form, and it should be up tomorrow or on Sunday. And you can find the form announcements on our Discord server or on our Amino community, which are both linked in the header of our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel, and either if you're on desktop, look on the top right corner, you'll see all the links linking to the Amino and link to our Discord. Or you click on the About tab if you're on mobile. There you should find the links as well. And you can join the community and talk with everyone. And you can
join us. Hey,
yeah, join us.
Yeah, join
one
us.
Of
and
us become one of us.
We're definitely looking for more people to submit to these because we want a more variety. Radium says she can't judge this. Really not her style. Never listened to that. Not into it. I don't know enough about it, so it's not her vibe.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
That's completely. I mean, totally.
Yeah, Felix. I was just gonna comment one more time, Felix, because he said that. Yeah, so welcome, Felix. Thanks for chopping by our feedback stream.
Yeah.
We're
all right, so I think we should
these.
move on to our next submission, which is very interesting, and I'd like Radium to join in on that discussion, because it is Karma, the instrumental version by Flair, but represented by radium. Have fun. All right, so that was Karma, the instrumental version by Flair, which is probably a group that is represented by our dear Radium. And Radium, or Flair, did leave us, well, it's Radium, did leave us a message, which reads as follows. Sigh. Sometimes you have to put your money where your mouth is. Anyway, help! I made this a fuck while ago. I think last year, no jokes, for me and my friends to release as a single. It's supposed to come out this summer, and I can't run away from my duties anymore. Even though we're facing a shit ton of obstacles, the vocals are recorded for the most part, and the next step is mixing and mastering. Unsurprisingly, I'm the one doing just that. Yay for extra work. Know how that feels. Is this track an example of my abilities? Good question. Even though what I need the most are pointers for mixing, I already balanced it to the best of my abilities and equipment. I'd love other comments and pointers. Yes, it's repetitive, and I'm keeping it that way in a total defiance. Additional notes. It's a pop song. Did I just lose all credibility? Maybe. But I'm staying here. Radium. All right.
Sick of you.
Okay. So, let's talk about this. All right, so this is fucking garbage. No, just kidding. Let's talk about this.
So for those that in their chat that might not be catching on, Radium is our co-host here with us. So that's who made this track. That's what we're talking about. So Radium This is actually the first time for me to hear one of your tracks, so that's
I
pretty
think
cool
for me
or
as
something, right?
well.
But the thing is, you kind of like you did a pretty good like publicity by telling us all the time that you need like work and your mixing suck and all this, because I was expecting it to not be at this quality, because I actually think this is some really good a really good mix. Now, it's a very simple track, so those are the ones easier to mix, but people also mess those up all the time too. But I think what works the best in this is, I think you got the kick and the bass where it needs to be, and it's all about getting all that high frequency stuff, you know, where it needs to be. And I think you did a decent job here. Where it can become a problem is when you put all the vocals on. If the vocals aren't mixing into the beat right, that's where you're gonna have to go back in and probably make some adjustments in the beat. Luckily, that style of editing could even be done on the pre-master. Like, you don't always have to go back into the mix and edit it. You can actually sometimes just mix the overall track, like with a little just a little bit of EQ for the vocals to tuck to fit right in. And that's a common thing, because rappers and singers and stuff, they buy their beats and they get their beats, and then the beat's done. They can't go back into the beat necessarily. But it always would, I think, would pay to, I mean, to go back in and really just make sure everything's perfect at the very end of the track, make sure it all works together. But I would just say, for for what it is right now, I think you're right. The balance, I think you did a good job on the balance. And you say you balanced it the
Yeah,
best
I
you could.
think
Yeah.
yeah, I think the balance in terms of mixing is fine. Um, I can I can hear in my head a couple of ways you could work vocals into this. I'm not sure what's planned. Could you maybe um what's planned for this in terms of vocals?
God.
So
Wait.
I mean, I guess what I'm asking is the arrangement sort of. So you're gonna have like a soloist singing, because it's like a group, I guess. So is there gonna be more like a like
Wait. I have here the line distribution, so it's gonna depend. Sometimes one person is gonna sing, sometimes it's gonna be two people at the same
yeah?
time.
So
Mhm.
there's like gonna be
Uh,
harmonizing and stuff like that.
yeah. Plus there's
Yeah,
harmonies. There's a couple of ad libs and shit at the same time. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's gonna
Yeah,
work well.
I
Yeah.
can I'm guessing. Yeah, I think it's probably going to work pretty well for that. And I believe you probably have enough room for the vocals as well. Um,
The koto, you think they would go
there's
over the koto the whole time, or do you think the koto should break away a little bit for vocals, or do you think that would work?
The what?
That little melody, well, I'm actually asking Blaze opinion. I mean, or what do you think? I mean, with so that was a koto instrument, right? The instrument that was playing the whole time. It was like a
The
plucky.
main melody? No, it's a guitar
That's a guitar.
oh,
Okay,
right.
that I
interesting.
really,
And
really
like a
play with.
nylon guitar, maybe, or something. Well, it's got like a koto-ish sound. But anyways, that instrument, you could maybe at certain points, if it's not working with the vocals, think about, okay, the vocals are going to take over here. That thing can drop out here and there. But those are decisions to be made, if you are having a problem fitting vocals in, because maybe that might or may not. It
Actually, the
probably won't.
vocals so far they fit in well. So the way we record is I make a very, very like stripped down version of an instrumental. I send it to
Mhm.
one of the singers who wrote the lyrics, was the melody. She sings on it, and that becomes the demo for the track. And this I would decide line distribution. I would decide yeah, who's gonna sing where, and if I need to make adjustments. And so far, if I use the demo that we have, it actually works really well with the main melody. So
That's
for that,
cool.
I'm not really worried.
That's cool.
Okay.
I'm excited to hear the finished
I mean,
version. I think it. Yeah, I think it's good.
I mean, I've been asking. I was asking this for a reason because, um, okay. So first of all, so you have this bass line. It starts pretty early on with this. It's sort of middle low, if you know what I mean. The sort of um more plucky synth sound that's in one of the bass lines. Um, um, I'm wondering if maybe you want to extend that pattern which is going, because you go from maybe I could just show you later what I mean. Now what I wanted to talk about mainly actually and this is a bit more generous. I think it's more fit for today's short time we have. So generally, I'm asking myself what sort of personality this has, and I'm wondering if maybe there should be. I feel like it's lacking a personality. I feel like it's lacking an identity. So that's why I'm asking, what do you want to do with the singing? Because this seems not just, not musically speaking. I mean, sure, it's repetitive and whatever. Not really important right now, but I'm wondering, just in terms of the sounds that were chosen, how well does it stick apart? And not stick apart, but how well does it hold up to other tracks of a similar style? And I'm wondering whether there is an identity missing to this, if you know what I mean. So this may change with the vocals, but I feel like there's some sort of gimmick missing. I mean, this is a commercial, very commercial production, and usually with those you expect this one gimmick thing that people really recognize, like really recognize.
It might be in the
So
vocals. It might have a
far,
unique singer or
it
something.
might have unique vocals. It might have a unique melody in the vocals, but the track on itself definitely is lacking that entirely. And I think
Right.
maybe
I
that's
mean,
something.
I see what
Maybe
you're talking
it's
about.
something. Maybe it's something you'd want to look into, in addition to the vocals. Even if the vocals are bringing this, maybe you want to take some of that from the vocals and introduce it to the instrumental version, even if it's not being released, but give it that identity. I feel like
Yeah.
that
Through the artwork and
could-
everything, and the pop music,
Yeah.
art pop, it needs to be the whole
I mean,
thing. The artwork, the
even if
image, the
it's
vocalist,
even if
the
it's
talent,
just
everything needs to be up front. You know what I mean?
yeah. I'm wondering even if it might be a percussive element, if it might be something, one sound,
Yeah, like a
something that sort of
yeah.
tells you this is that. If as soon as
Mhm.
the track starts, there are certain tracks that start with the first sound, and just by the sound alone, you recognize it. I mean, take for example the good old Rick Ashley Rickroll. Those toms come in, and you immediately know what it is. I feel like it's missing something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just that specific tom sound, that specific sound. It's so
It's
recognizable. As soon as you get Rickrolled and you open the link, you don't even need to hear the harmony. You don't need to hear one bit of
I
the
just
melody. You
rickroll
just hear
myself. I just rickroll myself daily. I just
Yeah.
wake up to that, anyways.
Yeah, just saying that. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like
I think-
it's missing this sort of one thing that's like, oh yeah, that's that.
I was definitely impressed. I think I totally get what Blake's saying, and that's the kind of feedback that you get at a level of like, okay, this is a great track, but how can we push it over to that little song or whatever that was super popular on TikTok for a while, that little whatever it was. I don't know the track. Hot Box or whatever it's called. Box song. The Box. That's the name of the song. The Box was super popular. He bought that beat. It didn't have that in there, and they were like, okay, this is a great beat. Everything's great. It was someone in the studio was just like, it needs one more thing. It just needs an identity, is basically what they were saying. And he added that thing to it. It was like an afterthought. And that was the identity of the track, just like Blaze saying. So think about something like that. I would, anyways. The Box by Roddy Rich. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, KP. Yeah,
Still don't know
same
what that
story
is,
with that. It's just a challenge meme style track on TikTok. It blew
Yeah.
up. In fact, it's exactly what you were saying though. It was the same story. He basically had that insight. He was sitting in the studio and realized it needed something to give it identity, and that's
Anyway,
what made that track.
Radium. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Did we butcher
I
this?
think for
Word.
identity, it's something that you build over time. Because I get what you mean. You know, it's important for, I guess, when you want to be commercial, you need to have something that makes you stand out. But I feel like since we just started, it's not something that we're gonna have
Right. That's
automatically.
true.
So that's something that we're definitely working on building over time. Because there's so many other elements that come in play. That's not just the
Mhm.
vocals and the music, from a pop perspective.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
there's definitely that. But
Mhm.
I did take a couple of notes that I will transfer to the others. So thank you for that.
Well, thanks for submitting. That was awesome. I'm excited to hear it after vocals are added to it.
Yeah.
Now it's like we can finish this. It'll be just so cool. I'm
Okay.
anticipating that for sure.
Okay. Okay. I think we should speed things up though, or we're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to go through half of these. I mean, okay, this was the half point. This was the midpoint. So, I think we can do it. Because we're now at the 1 hour mark.
Mhm.
I think we can do it. All right. So let's speed through these. Okay. Upcoming, we have a luckily short track, which is going to make that easier, which is Slumber, a heavily whip by Hazarral. Have fun. All right, so that was Slumber, a heavily work in progress, heavily whip by Hazarral. And Hazarral did leave us a very short note, which reads as follows. It's only about 40 seconds, finished or something. Also read my name however you want. Okay, Hazarral.
A
So
Zay Ra Ra Al. He said
Hazarral.
yeah, cool name though.
La Raza. Okay. I could read it backwards if I can read however you want. All right, Slumber.
Yeah, I like these short whips. In fact, if they're all this short, we'd definitely be able to make it through the stream in time. Um, yeah, so I threw a call out yesterday. I think, oh, does anyone want to submit a whip? I say whip because people always think they need a finished track. Actually, I prefer giving feedback on whips because we know that we can be more critical because you can actually go make a change. I hate when someone releases their song. They're like, I just released
this
the
last
song. I
week.
love
It's
it.
on Spotify. Let's
Yeah,
party.
and then we were all like, it could be better. Because honestly, I know if it was my track, I would no longer like my track. If I just released it and someone told me the mix was bad, I'd be like, well, I'm never going to listen to that again. The mix is bad. And so,
if you're unaware, it's worse. If you're unaware, it's worse.
So submit whips to us so we can just really tell you, oh, I would do this, I would do that, and see, and then you can take it back to the studio.
Yeah, honestly though, that's on you. If you release something and then go to a feedback stream. I mean, I know we all know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get promotion. This is not for promo. You'll get shredded. Anyway.
If the track has still got problems, then you're just not going to feel good about your track. So
I mean, if it's amazing and perfect, and we're sitting here,
if it's good,
like, oh
it's the opposite story.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's the opposite. Come here.
All right.
Yeah,
but let's talk about Slumber.
Slumber.
I think it was a really nice, short.
Very simple.
There's
like,
what's the name? In German, there's a word for it, but yeah, I don't know. It's a nice short piece. I like it. I think Yeah.
I was missing like it's just like a static note, keeping like a drone note or a pedal tone of like a
Oh,
whoa something,
oh,
just so
no.
because everything else was just like too much space in between. It was just like click, 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 click,
Hmm.
click, 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 click. I don't know. I was wanting just one more thing to start creeping in. Now I don't know. This is a whip and it was really
Right.
short. I would imagine that stuff was going to come in or something, but
I
I
don't
was
know. I
wanting something to
think
start drawing me in a little bit more.
it's doing that just fine. I think it is. Now, if you're talking from, I think it makes more sense to talk about this from a more compositional point of view. So talking about the composition more than anything. I mean, it's distorting like crazy too. It's like it's not mixed.
Mhm.
I don't think there's. You can't talk about this from like a production perspective. It's not a production. This is composition. This is just the composition. There's nothing done to sound or anything with this. I think. It sounds very dry. It sounds very
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds rough, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah, a
This
more
isn't like a
lush reverb would
track.
have
This
filled
is
in.
like a release track or anything. This is just the composition of this melody.
Mhm.
It's a nice melody. There's two moments in this. I listened to this for the first time. I literally had no time to go through anything today. There's two moments, I believe there might be three moments, where the where the voicing might not really work entirely. But oh dear, yeah, I did
You'd
not
have to
listen
kind of go
to
back
that.
and yeah.
Did not listen to that appropriately. I did not pay full attention. I think there's two moments where I went, okay.
That's why maybe I was thinking there needed to be something else anchoring it or something that was kind of like it was falling off. I mean,
Nah, I don't know. I mean, you could do that. You could do like effect stuff, but this is about just the two melodies
like a lush
interacting.
reverb or something. Yeah,
It's just
I
about the
see.
melodies interacting, and there's been two weird
I see.
moments. There's been two moments where I'm like, okay, I don't
You'd have
know.
to like circle it, like print out the notation, maybe send it to Blay, maybe circle it for you.
I can just
uh,
I mean I could transcribe it and
yeah,
tell you which part and stuff, but I mean you could do
you
that.
got a busy
You
week
could do
ahead of
that
you,
as well.
Blay. You got a
I
challenge.
yeah, that too. I forgot the challenge immediately. I don't, oh my god. Okay, I need to.
Hey Alexa, over at Blay's house, set a reminder.
Sorry, I'm not letting software spy on me. No. Let me just add this to my calendar actually. Oh dear. Okay.
Right.
That's a
Radium, did
tough
you?
week. Oh shit.
What did you think about this, Radium?
Yeah, Radium. Oh crap, I'm gonna do that. Fuck.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it. It's
Wednesday.
empty. Like
Just
it's a melody. What?
Mhm.
I mean, it's a nice melody, but it's a melody that is so simple. Like I literally said in the chat, you could make it a freaking trap drop, and Boom starts working on it.
Okay, I'm
It's
disappointed.
very open.
Don't do that.
This is the kind of melody that you're right. It's so fun for a producer to add beats behind this kind of stuff because it just sounds like it just works, because
You
everything's
could
like
do
on
anything
time.
with it.
Yeah, you could do anything
So
with it, but it's just
I
not
feel
there.
like in the little notes part, it would have been nice to tell us what kind of feedback we're expecting on this, at least to guide us. So, because I can say that I like the melody, but at the same time, I'm sitting here like, okay, well, this could be a creepy melody thing. This could be something for trap. This could be hip hop. This could be pop. This could be classical. I feel like I don't have enough information to be able to say anything outside of nice melody. Harmonies are kind of weird.
Yeah, it's really
Here and
just like a
there.
basic idea. It's just like a
Yeah.
starting idea.
I mean, I love works in progress, but like,
Yeah, it's at
it's
the
like
beginning. It's a very early stage. Yeah.
it's like showing me a piece of bread and calling it a sandwich and be like, give me feedback. Bitch, it's a piece of bread. What am I supposed to
You
say?
started with a decent piece of bread. Got
I mean,
little
it's kind of
sesame.
like
Got little grains on the
yeah.
crust.
I mean, it's kind of like you got the flour and some water, and you say, oh, how do you like this? sandwich. That's sort of more like it. You have the starting idea, which is a nice
Right,
idea.
and that's what's neat.
But I don't
And
know.
honestly,
Maybe this has maybe the idea is to go into like a longer piece. But I mean, this might just be a very short. What the fuck are they called?
like a little,
Loop?
No.
Sample.
like a little interlude or whatever.
Like a carol kind of thing, like a short like
Lullaby.
yeah, something like that. It could be
More words.
Totally, could totally be something like that. More words? Okay, I got more words.
Jingle, lullaby,
Hymn,
tune,
Selm,
hymn. Yeah.
Canicle. I don't know what that is.
I think from
Pizza, chicken.
Hazarral stuff in the past,
La
I think
Carola.
they are more of a instrumental, orchestral soundtrack style thing. I'm just trying to remember stuff I've heard in the past from Hazarral, but I could be mistaken. So definitely excited to hear where you take this track too. So if you are a member that submits a whip and you want to bring it back after you make some decent changes.
Don't just change one note and call it a day.
Yeah, make some great changes on it and then bring it back. Those are really fun for us because then we can hear the progression and like different things and take us on your journey with you through the track. So yeah, really cool. I think it's got potential, and I think we had a mixed bag of feedback for you to take there. So all right,
It is what it is. All right, so let's move on to our next submission, which is going to be Last Supper by Chika. And Chika just left because we took so long to get to this, so that's really unfortunate. Anyway, here is Last Supper.
No, she's here. She's here.
Yeah, she's while doing the singing lessons, listening to us in her headphones. What the fuck?
Wow.
Okay, Chika Pryor, have fun.
I heard warning signs from the whisper that I didn't believe. I should be the bigger person and let it go and leave. One stop, you'll know I won't be praying. One stop, you'll know you won't be praying. I don't see reality. I won't believe what you say to me. This is our last supper.
All right, so that was Last Supper by Chika Pryor. That was a scary ending. Damn. Okay, so Chika's message reads as follows. It's short today. What's going on? Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do with this song. I really don't. I had a collaborator, but she low-key ruined the song, so I told her no. I mean, effort is effort, right? I just have a vision for myself as an artist. If I can even get there. Right now, I don't know if this is even good. Probably not. Blay and Guild, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get better at vocal production, so I need feedback on everything, including the mixing, songwriting, etc. How is it for a draft? And is there any guidance you can give me to spark creativity, as I don't want to work on this project anymore, or even finish it? Please help me, please.
Yeah. Well, I would do what?
Dear.
Please,
Okay.
please, please, she says with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll just jump in and say that since you're asking, we always do mention you need practice your vocals. I think you kept it safe this time, and that's a good thing. because that's my problem is when people try to do things they can't and they leave it in an official recording because you're like, okay, well, wait until you can do that before you put it in an official release. You need to practice more. But I think in this one, you did not try anything way too beyond your comfort zone. And since you kept it safe, you know, there's less criticism if you can come your way. But that's it's just because you need practice. So as you keep practicing, you'll be able to add more. But just and just one last thing I would say, honestly, something because before I forget, I did think when you started doing that little, I already forgot what you were saying. Oh man, I forgot the words you were saying. You were doing like this little build up where you kept repeating the same word over and over. And then you kind of, I don't know. I would ad lib some stuff on that, and you just have little stacks and some neat little maybe ad libs or delays or something on that. And then there's one other time where you just say something really quick. You say a quick word right before the drop. Those kind of parts need the effects because without it, they're just kind of like there. They don't really hold weight. You add some kind of like echoey effect to that echoes into the next part of the song or something. Those are really cool to add, like, you know, a actual neat delay with a feedback that comes back or something. I would do something like that just to spice up the track. But as far as, like I always say, I think the songwriting was good. I think it's a neat song. It's a good idea. And I think you did better on the vocals. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Blay?
I mean, first of all, poor Ray. Chika only wants feedback from Guild and me. Damn. That's Chika. No.
Well, I didn't read that right. Yeah, I guess that's what she said. No. I think she gets enough of Radium's feedback, maybe. She comes here for us because they're always talking in the chat.
All right, no.
Yeah.
I mean, what can be said to this?
Harmony maybe on the vocals.
You know, the thing is, and I mean, just you can only really start to talk about mixing and production and all that stuff if you got the basics down, if you got the fundamentals down. And the most important thing for you, especially for your voice, is still practice. I mean, you're doing that and you're improving, you know, you are improving. If you listen back to the first couple of submissions that she sent during these, you'll hear this. You know, this is something that Mira experienced last time on stream, or like a couple of times already, where it's like he's messaging me or like on stream saying like, oh, I'm not improving and stuff like that. And then he listens to like his first submission and it's like, damn, what happened? I did improve. I did improve massively. I forgot how fucking shit I was. You know, but that's not what he said. I'm not saying that. That's what I'm. Don't get me wrong there. But that's what I would say. You know, so you forget how much you improved because you forget how shit you were. You know, so you are improving. You're improving quite a bit actually. It's an interesting journey to see, of course. But you know, keep at it. The thing is, the issue is, you're not really doing much wrong with the mixing. It's just you don't yet have the ability to really go at the mixing thing. You don't really have the vocals yet that would enable you to really work with these mixing techniques and stuff like that, you know, which also takes a lot of practice and experience. And I know the thing is that I always say is there isn't a method to creating these things, you know. People always want to see, I mean, it's a human thing. We want to see patterns and that's why conspiracy theorists exist. People want to see patterns in everything, even in things where there simply isn't a pattern. You know, if you want, you will find a pattern. You know, if you go on a beach, and look
Lizard
at the
people.
sand. Yeah, if you go on a beach and look at the sand, it's literal sand. If your brain wants to, and if you try hard enough, you'll see a pattern in the sand, and you'll see the Illuminati confirmed and everything. You know. Because that's how our brains function. We have a natural bias to things. So what the fuck was I talking about? How did I get to?
I was
sand?
actually I was following you, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, then all of the sudden shit went loose, and I talked about sand. No, but I think what I'm saying, I think what I was trying to get to is, um, uh, we
Yeah, dude,
have
I was along for the ride.
this what the hell was I saying before this? Our
Well then,
brains,
let
we
me take
try to
over.
see patterns. What was I talking? Oh, yes, of course. We have a natural response to these patterns to the extent that we want to see patterns in things where there aren't any patterns. Art doesn't really have such patterns. We want to get methods for everything. How to make your track sound not muddy. How to make your vocals sound good. You know, these are questions that you can't ask. There is no method to it. Every person is different. Every voice is different. Every piece of art is different, unless you're Justin Bieber or whatever. Every piece of art is different, you know, and everything needs different attention and a different approach. The thing that makes professionals in any industry professionals is that they can deal with something, that they have enough experience so that they don't have to follow patterns, so that they don't have to go at things methodically. Because there aren't these patterns, you know. If something breaks, like airplane manufacturers and stuff like that, if shit breaks, it breaks in random places. I mean, they can be calculated and stuff, but if you're an engineer in like an airplane hangar or whatever, and you deal with breakage of important parts, your experience is there to buff out the unexpected. This is something you can only get through experience, through trial and error. How do you get experience? By failing. Every failed attempt is a successful learning experience. I'm saying this because I watched a video recently that is really great, where someone's talking about failure and how failure really is gain in every respect, because you learn from your mistakes. It's so cheap to say this, but it really is true. Whenever
Oh,
you
for sure.
fail, you've learned so much. And that's what you need. You need experience. That's why you need practice. That's why you need to train your voice and stuff. But that's why you always also need to really experiment. All this is to say that there isn't a method to this. We can't say, oh yeah, just do this to fix your vocals. It doesn't work like that. There isn't
Other than
a
practice.
method.
Other than
there
just
isn't a
saying the
method.
practice, yeah.
Yeah, we can say, oh, maybe the EQ is off. Oh, maybe this is off. But if you
Right,
if
it's
you
little
listen
things
back
that-
to what I'm saying, for instance, on this stream, whenever I say something, I try to stay really non-specific. I try to stay really broad. And there's a reason for that. Because I don't want to offer methods to people. Because that'll only work that one time, if it even works at all. You know? There isn't a method. You need to try, you need to fail, you need to reattempt, and you need to learn from your mistakes. That's the only way how you can improve. That's why I'm non-specific. That's why I say, I don't know, maybe you can try it like this. So a question like that, how can I, what was the question? It's like, what's the question? Yeah. Feedback on, you want feedback on the better vocal production and mixing and songwriting. Yeah, I'm sorry. The only tip I can really give to you at this point, I mean, anyone should give you at this point, is trial and error. Try to see what works. Try to see what doesn't work. I mean, we can talk about how we feel like some things, maybe there's like an EQ thing here, maybe there's something there, something like that, you know. But honestly, as like a tip in general, there isn't anything unless we'd go into like methods and stuff. But that's never good because then you're just copying one method. It's yeah, you'll get lost in that. So what you need is this experience, this trial and error, and don't be discouraged by failure, because failure is your greatest success. Right, yeah. And Radium is ranting because she tells this to Radium all the time. So if I'm saying this separately from a Radium, that means it must be true. 2 people or Radium, probably more, are telling you this, so it's true. Right, Radium? So for both saying this on separate occasions? I mean, Radium, you can talk. I mean, I can see you typing. You don't need to. You can talk. Please. Feels like you're not even on stream. I'm sure. I'm sure Chika didn't mean it when she said that she wants feedback from Guild and me only.
I'm sure she meant it. My heart is broken.
Oh. Yeah. So you've told you told Chika this before.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. It really is the only way you can improve. It's the only way to, get anywhere. I mean, that's the way I got to what I'm doing. It's, anyone. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced. I mean, you've experienced it with your production. You probably constantly running into issues and have to fix those. And there's a new issue here and a new issue there, and you just learn from these mistakes. And this is stuff you take on with you to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But what did you have to say to this?
Can you hear the drilling?
No, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I can hear the drilling really loud. So my new microphone is working great. Well, I'm gonna start by using the note that Chika has left us. You said you have no idea what you're gonna do with the song. I have an idea. Release it.
Boom.
Yeah. Really like the end. Mic drop. Release it.
Yep. Just put it out.
You have a vision of yourself as an artist and you don't know if it's good. Well, release it. How the fuck are you gonna know if it's good or not if you don't release it? If you don't work on it? I feel like the thing with heart, and I've said it like a couple months back, is that heart isn't like a pattern or a step one, step two kind of thing. It's the journey of discovery, rebranding, identity searching, blah blah blah. And you can't just, when you go through this journey of trying to become like an artist, you can't just be like, okay, now I'm gonna be an artist that does this and that. No, it's not gonna work. Identity is something that should build, unless you're industry plant and you have like a big label behind you telling you what to do, what you wear, what to say. Your identity is going to be something that you build, and it's going to change constantly. There's a lot of artists, the reason why they're followed so much is that they're always like rebuilding themselves and going for a new journey, and they're bringing their fans with them, regardless of all the criticism you can have for pop industry. A lot of maybe artists, the fact that there's always something new with them is what makes them interesting. So if you don't know what to do with the song and you have a vision of yourself as an artist, release the song, finish it, sing on it, because your vocals would actually kind of good on there. Except the buff thing, that's, I would fix this post production. But yeah, how are you gonna put that vision to good use if you don't release the song? So step one, release the song.
Exactly.
And let me continue here. Trying to be better at vocal production. Me too. Guess what I do? All the work. Which is why I submitted the instrumental, because I have no idea how to proceed with the mixing, and I needed like an outside perspective on it so I can like work on it. For a draft, I mean, it's a draft. It's a good draft. Now finish it. You last sentence, guidance to spark creativity. Okay, I'm gonna go on a rant here, sweetie. There's a day I remember this week on the Amino. There, at some point, every 5 seconds, you were like pitching lyrics and ideas. How is that not creativity? Like all the time, you were I swear, like you can scroll up in the feedback chat every 5 seconds, boom, a new lyric idea, boom, a new song idea. That's creativity right there. But the issue is that you never put anything out. So yeah, that creativity stays stuck and that you don't do anything with it. So yeah, release the song. You don't want to work on the project or finish it. I don't know why. Because every single song that you make has a direction, which is something that I envy personally. Like they're going somewhere. You have an idea and a vision. You're going somewhere with every song that you make. So I don't see how you lose creativity. So to summarize everything I've just said, release the song, finish it, sing it yourself, and release the song. And I'm sure it's definitely gonna help a lot if you do that. But that's just me though. That's just me.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's just a great way to free yourself of that and move on to the next. Plus, you don't feel like any idea you came up with just gets wasted into the ether of nothingness. Putting it out at least does something with it. And one day you can look back at that. You'll be really thankful one day when you're looking back and just trying to look at nostalgia and things from your past to have tons of tracks that you released, even if they were just SoundCloud stuff over the time. It's really nice to go
Definitely.
back and listen. Right.
Yeah.
So who do we have next?
Okay. Yeah, up next we have Misty by Jazzerado. Have fun. Oh, this is a jazz standard again, by the way, so yeah. All right. So that was Misty by Jazzerado. And Jazzerado did leave us a message. By the way, Jazzerado is Miro. I don't know if he wants us to read the name on stream, but hey, feedback stream, dream team. Any comments about that recording? It's a random backing track. Any ideas on playing more expressive? I feel like I still can't speak or sing through the horn as others that actually sound good. All right.
Oh, I mean, I definitely think this was, yeah, I definitely think you are getting better. Like we were just talking about before we listened to this. I think
Yeah.
your playing is getting better. You're more on time, but I would say you actually are speaking a little bit more through it. But I think that speaking you're talking about is the edge that some musicians have where they like push their instrument to the limit. They make it growl and squeak sometimes. You don't want it to squeak because no one likes squeaks and stuff. But honestly, just like any instrument, sometimes those extra little growls and squeaks that come out of instruments when you like you push them really hard, you add that extra life into them. And I mean, honestly, I think you do just fine. I think some of that's going to come from soul. You got to have some, you got to have some emotion behind it. You can't just be like reading sheet music and getting through it. That's just like an exercise. Some of that soul, that grit, that singing comes from improv, like the musician just really feeling the piece, like they hold that, they push that note because it needs to be pushed a little harder than the rest, and it just squeaks the instrument maybe or makes it growl or something. And some of that's not on the sheet music. That's just their interpretation sometimes or whatever, as you know. And I think it needs to come from a little bit of, you need to have something to say. If you want to speak through your instrument, you need to have something to say. You need, if you're angry about something, or you're excited about something or sad about something, you need to really feel the music and those notes to kind of come alive a little bit more. But if you're just reading it off of thing or trying like the 30th time to get through it perfectly, it loses a little bit of its life, I think. But I think it's the best one that you sent us, though, recording wise, or one of the best.
Do you mean in terms of sound quality?
Recording, and his playing too.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, the sound quality too. Actually, I was kind of referring to both, but actually, the recording was great. But I'm talking about your playing, because like last week I was talking about how some things seem to be a little too stale and too not sure of itself. And I mentioned to play a little bit more with life.
I mean, there is
or
still
whatever.
some of that, of course. I mean, it takes super long to get to like a. I mean, I think it's impressive for how long Mira's been added. It's not too long, That's the thing. There's a lot of improvement going on. Mira is really actively practicing all the time. I mean, most of the time. I think pretty much every day, which is just how supposed to do it. I think he is improving greatly, and I think anytime we hear something on stream, it just shows how much you can really do how much you can really improve if you just practice, just practice your 40 hours a day, I mean, okay, it's still, that's just something that takes, more than a week or 2 weeks of work, getting stability, getting comfortable in the high register and stuff. It just takes long. I think your intonation is getting better and better. That's just something you just just have to, keep actively listening to and listen for while you're playing, which you are doing. So really, there isn't much I can say except you are improving, and just keep at it. Just keep at it. And I think I agree. I think it was a really nice recording. Yeah. I think in terms of expressiveness, I think this piece calls for... That's the kind of thing where it's easy to do too much and also too little. And I think you're more on the side of doing a little bit less than I would probably want to have. I think one thing you could still work on is vibrato. I think that's something that, that's just something you haven't really explored yet, I think. But that's also, there's some technique stuff that I don't want to tell you to get into, because there's a very specific time. It's not a specific time, but there's times when you should get into this, and other times when it's maybe too soon, maybe too early to get into. So, for now, I don't really want to say much more. Just know that you definitely are improving. It's definitely noticeable. Radium. It's happened again. Radium disappeared. I've been talking for too long, I think.
I just now read her message. Every time I speak, I thought she loves the awkward. I thought you loved the awkward silent after you speak. I was doing that for you, Radium. No, I was distracted last time. No, last time you were talking, I was actually distracted, so forgive me if I wasn't responding to Radium's open discussion. But this time she seems to have left us. Um, okay. Oops, I just got back from the bathroom. Okay, she's back.
Kill, that's secret, probably.
I know, sorry, I was just reading everything I've seen. Okay.
Okay.
To wash her
Everyone
hands.
knows Radium is human. Oh no.
She just had something on her hands. She had to wash her hands. All
right.
Did you hear the track, Radium?
A little bit. Enough, I'd say.
So what do you think?
Again, I'm gonna play the simple-minded person. I liked it. I liked the playing. Felt very natural.
Yeah.
Playing more expressive. Honestly, I have no idea how to tell you how to play expressive. My main issue back when I played the violin was expressivity. I was a robot, so I cannot help you on that. Can speak or sing for the horn as others sound good. Yeah, I really can't help you with the expression because I suck at it. I have zero expression. So if I can comfort you, I like the playing anyway. Um, I really do think you're getting better. I don't know if this was mentioned. Probably. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? I liked it. It was good. I wish I could help you be more expressive, but even I don't know how to be expressive either. So yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll figure it out.
Yeah. It definitely takes just there's just so many different levels of really getting comfortable and really getting expressive. I mean, just a certain feel you get after a certain amount of time playing, and I think it's something quite natural for. It's just at different times. I think it's something quite natural. I think most people can get into that if they do it for long enough. I mean, I don't know if
Long enough.
sure,
The more comfortable you get with your playing, the the less you have to think about that. Then you can think about other things. I know from my experience that it comes from improv. Like I'm that kind of musician that plays by ear. I can't read music, but I can play lead and blues. You've probably met many blues players that can play like the heck out of a blues lead solo. You're like, whoa, how you play that? Because it's blues. It's all felt. You just feel it. You feel the blues, but that's all improv. And what happens is I'm not reading it. Since I'm not reading it, I can really just sing with it. You could stick there on one note and get a lot of expressivity out of it by going ding, 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 like digging into it and then start. You got to feel it. You got to you got to really feel it. Your whole body feels it. It's not just like you really feel it. You're singing or something. I mean, you're dancing in the sense like in your mind because you really feel it. But that's a technique. You can add it to the paper. You can say vibrato here, forte here, piano here, staccato here, little trail off here, hold this note here. You can write it down, but then again, you're not. Is that as enjoyable as kind of what you're seeking when you see someone play it and it looks like they're just like having the time of their life and they can really make it. I don't know. Again, I'm a different style of player because I don't read music or play standards. Everything I play is like, I'm also that kind of like, oh, you played this great solo and you like play it again. I'm like, I don't remember what I played. It's like, I just make it up in the spot, so it's a different style of playing. And that's where my expressivity comes from. So again, I don't know if that can help you, but I definitely would say that I don't have a problem with expressivity, not to even flex or anything. I'm just saying, like, if I could share anything, it comes from just really feeling the music and not reading it, but feeling it, like knowing it in your head and just letting it out in a different way and not reading it and thinking all about the notes and all that. And as your timing perfect, like you can't think about that. It's distracting. You got to just know the piece and then play it. You got to really be in the mood one day, maybe just be like, sometimes you're in a mood and you'll play it even better. So who knows? Anyways,
yeah, I think we should move on to the final submission of today. I can't believe we actually made it. The final submission of today, which is Vanguard by Ark. Have fun. All right, so that was Vanguard by Ark. All right, and Ark did leave us a message which reads as follows. Hi producers, I use this application called BandLab for whim compositions. This is also the first time I tried this genre. It's getting late. I can't read. Any advices to make my compositions and mixing style better in this genre? Arigato. I'm a weeber now, according to Radium, I guess. We are damaged, Ark, you and me. Damn it. You put this on me. No, I watched anime before, so it's all good. It's all good. All right.
Vanguard. I'm thinking of Card Fight Vanguard. That's what I'm thinking of. That Card Fight Vanguard is a card game in an anime.
Okay.
Is what I was thinking. And
I don't.
Anyways,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know much about it. I just saw it once. I liked it. It sounds like something that would be in a video game, though, for sure. I mean, what'd you think? Well, like it was.
I thought it was fucking terrible. No, just kidding.
It had like sense in it that reminded me so much like it was not trying to be anything other than like a boss fight or something in a game or some kind of intense level where you're kind of like going through the level or something like that. And it did a pretty good job at that. I think. I mean, there maybe be some room for like if it was for that, it'd be some room for some like gadgets, but for the most part. Like that's the vibe I got. So I really wasn't feeling it as like a chill vibe or like it's something I'd listen to on the radio outside of that context. But I'm not sure. I liked it for if it was used for that. I think it worked pretty good. I mean, it was fun. It had that nostalgic video game sound.
I mean, Ark is definitely making more functional music than anything. So music for that works in part with other things. So. Like background music for a video game. I mean, I believe Ark has been commissioned to do some of those too, which is great. So this too feels more functional than absolute music, which would be listening music just intended for just listening to it. So I can totally see where you're getting this fight scene or a battle music thing from Guild. I mean, I think that's probably sort of the intention, I guess. But I want to talk about the composition maybe a little bit. Um, uh, okay, so there's you had this part. I haven't been super attentive. It is getting late for me. But there was this part where you had really quick runs, sort of more in the back, and they were clearly there were definitely some moments that didn't really work within the key, which you could put off as being like just crazy and a bit disoriented and stuff like that. But it did feel unintentional to me. I mean, I'm the last person to criticize dissonance. Well, not criticize dissonance, but I'm the last person to not get dissonance, and not understand when music is supposed to have these opposing
Unsettling
characteristics.
dissonance tones in a good way.
But
Like-
this to me, because honestly, to me, dissonance doesn't feel dissonant in certain cases. There's
Right.
as
'cause you
people
get-
people
yeah.
say dissonance sounds often wrong, and it's like, no.
Only if you're
don't-
playing
I
like the
don't
major
know.
scale and you're playing like Mary Had a Little Lamb, then a dissonance note's gonna ruin everything. But
Right.
like
It's
in
just,
great music,
yeah,
it's all about the dissonance notes.
yeah.
I mean, it's just
Anyway, to me, it felt unintentional. I'd look into that again, leaving it broad, so you can sort of look and learn and listen. I think in general, you're focusing a lot on loops. Maybe I would break free from that every now and then. I feel like this is one thing where I'm not getting the sense of a story so much. It is more like a scene within a bigger thing, which is totally fine. I'm just probably missing the pieces around it. Yeah. I would advise you to maybe look at that part again where you have these quick runs and check and really listen and really make the decision and make the call and say, yeah, maybe this doesn't work. If it does to you, and if you think this is how it's supposed to be, then sure. In terms of mixing, I think I would like things to be a bit wider in terms of the stereo mixing. I think they are pretty cramped. Also in terms of the sound design, I sort of hate the term for that, but I guess it's the best word for it. So the sounds and stuff you chose for like the synthesizer parts and stuff like that, I'd like those to be a bit more varied across most of your works. Yeah. I think that's really all I can say to this. I want to say more. I feel like there's more to be said, but at this point in time for me right now, I don't really have much more to say. But I'd be interested to hear what Radium has to say. So without a long delay, which is an extra long delay to give Radium a chance to pick up the microphone and unmute it and then start talking, I am
as soon as Blaze
transitioning
says his last word.
slowly to Radium now, which
After
happens
a few more words.
super soon, immediately
Ap-
after we are done with that, which is now. Radium.
Or my
Oh.
and then we pass it over to Radium. What do you think?
I have nothing useful to say.
All
I feel like
that.
We
the
built you
All
up.
that
We
for
built it
this.
up. That was like a drum roll and everything.
Yeah.
y'all need to lower your expectations when you talk to me.
Okay.
And now the moment
Honestly,
everybody's
like,
been waiting for.
Here is the fantastic, the amazing,
The
the
best insight you're gonna get today on stream.
all-knowing,
Radium.
mighty Radium.
okay, you know what? Let me cheat and use what they wrote in their note. Producers, BandLab, first time genre, advise make composition and mixing style better in this genre. Well, by making more in this genre and listening more in it too. Yeah. Like we all wish it was like a magic spell that would make our shit better, but yeah. Solution to both your to make your compositions better, listening to more stuff and just doing more stuff and learning as you go. Mixing, same thing. Learning by searching info on YouTube, reading a little. Yeah. Other
Yeah.
than that, what would I say about your stuff? I agree with Gil. It's heavy video game soundtrack. Is it what you are going for? If so, thumbs up. If not, maybe it's time to um widen your range of music that
Yeah.
you make.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's what you want to make and that's what you like making, I mean, by all means, going in it. But if you were trying to do something completely different, well, it's time
Right.
to listen to different stuff and try new things. Uh, I'm happy that you found BandLab to help you make something. It was actually good with it, so I wouldn't hurry to change the DAW just yet. I don't know how good mixing with BandLab is, though. I mean, I suck at mixing. I can't even help you there, but with BandLab, I'm sure it's an additional challenge. Other than
Yeah,
that,
it's an interesting app.
oh, this is the first time. This is not the first time you made a song like this. I should have read the note better. This is not the first time you tried this genre. If it is, if in your head it's the first time you try something like this, oof, you really listen to different stuff and try new things and challenge yourself in that area. Because to me, it sounded like something that you make all the time, which is fine. It's fine to make soundtracks for different animes, different genres, etc., etc. But yeah, I think the main advice I'm gonna give you is stay in the soundtrack, what do you call backing track stuff world, but go further than video games, anime stuff. Listen to maybe classical, jazz, cinematic and stuff, because I feel like it's really gonna open you up to new stuff to try. Because this is not the first time you've made a track like this. I'm sorry, boo boo. It's just not. So this
Yeah.
was my amazing, absolutely useful feedback.
That was good. I
That
think there's
was
a
the
lot of people
all-knowing,
that.
amazing Radium. Thank
This is
you.
why people come to the stream. No, and speaking to Boo Balina in the chat, totally got what you're saying. Yeah, original loops, as in or pre-made sample loops from a pack or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe this was
Blay
original though. It's very
I think it's
basic.
mostly original
I don't
because
see a
the loops
reason.
seemed.
Yeah, I don't see a
right.
reason why you'd need to use pre-made things for this. It's very simple for that.
Seems very sequenced, basically. Sequences own loops.
Yeah, and
or
also it
arcs
seems
own
very
loops.
fitting. Like the sound quality of all these things seem to be in line with the overall production. So it seems to all just work together.
I would agree.
But okay, I believe we are at the end of today's stream. We made it. We gone through all 8 submissions. Amazing.
That was cool. We could totally do it. And I think the round table discussion, well, it's not really a table, and it wasn't really round because it's 3 of us. It's a triangle internet
the triangle
discussion.
non-existent planar table.
open discussion works better for keeping us from going on rants where one person goes on a rant. I liked it. I like the rants, but I think it's better when they're in discussion
I
form.
believe we've come to this conclusion before,
So,
but
yeah, we have. So I will keep the announcement short since we're at the end and no one ever really listens to the very end. Anyways, just a reminder, if you do want more streams, I stream production stuff on Saturdays, and I keep saying this, I want to make those more community involved, not just about me making music. So if you want to get involved with the stream, send me loops, send me samples, send me an idea, join the stream, talk to me while I'm doing the stream. We'll work on whatever members from the community want me to work on. And that's how they're related to the community. These are MPA production streams I do on Saturday on our Twitch channel at 7 p.m. UTC, and it's 3 p.m. Eastern. It works better for me. On Saturday. So come tomorrow for the production stream on Twitch. We'll work on music, have some fun there. Stay tuned for next month for Producer Battle 10, as I was mentioning. More details about that at the beginning of this if you want to rewind it. And thanks, Blay, for streaming these high quality production streams. I love like what you've done here with our Feedback Friday streams. They're really good, and they make it, they make it worth it. Super professional. And Radium, thanks for being here as always. Love your feedback.
Yes.
And everyone in the chat for joining us and hanging around for 2 hours. And Boom Balina, be sure to join our Discord if you haven't already, and see you over there and see everybody back in the community. Bye for now.
bye.
Bye.